Vermont Pyros, and Dad is finally going to use the firing system! Yes! So watch the fireworks!
Hello Pyros, hello fireworks enthusiasts and friends. Welcome back to the Vermont Pyro Boys. We've got a pretty fun video for tonight. I am going to attempt for the very first time using my P12 firing system I got from Pyro Boom. This is a official documentation of me really learning how to do this. I have not practiced at all. I am recording everything on video. So hopefully it'll all work. You're all along for the journey. So let's take a look. For those of you who don't know, this is your basic firing system for fireworks. So this one is available from Pyro Boom. It was about $100. As you can see, I've got 3 modules with 4 cues each that correspond to this remote control that has buttons 1 through 12. And then if we look down at the bottom, you can see there's an all fire button and a sequence button. First thing we're going to look at here is what happens when you turn them on. So, power on, red LED at the top lights up, nothing else lights. Remote control, power on, red LED comes on. So, we're going to see there's nothing hooked into these cues here as I'm in my house, but button number 1, red LED comes on. Button number 2, red LED comes on. Let's jump down here to 7. 7 comes on. 11. 9. Okay, so we can see that our buttons are corresponding with the correct numbers. Next thing, let's check out the all fire button. I'm going to push and hold, and everything fires at once. So assuming all of my cues or matches were set up correctly, that will work. Next up, we're going to do the sequence button down here on the bottom, and this is going to march right up the line in sequential order. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ideally, that is probably so fast that it's not much different than doing an all fire, and that right there is a reason why I would move to a bigger system. Next thing I want to show you guys, there are 2 kinds of wires that you can get to hook from these firing modules into your fireworks. First thing we have is what I was originally planning on only using. This is I believe it's called a Dragon wire clip. There's different brands. This is a Talon igniter. Okay, so it's hard to see, but inside this clip, there's a tiny little wire, and that is what heats up and ignites the fuse. You place this clip carefully on your fuse. There you can see the wire. So you slide the fuse in through the opening. Do not push it through the hole so you don't break the wire. Down in, close the clip on, and that puts the wire in pressure against your fuse. When you hit the button on your igniter, it creates heat in the wire, which lights the fuse. The other kind of igniter that I have to use are these MJG wires. Basically what this is just like the other end of the Dragon wire with the Talon clip. You have 2 exposed ends that will go into a red and a black side, corresponding with whatever number you want. And then you've got this here. This is a plastic shroud, and if you pull it back, you can see that little bit there, that shiny black part, is a chemical that will create flame when exposed to an electrical charge. So we're going to leave the shroud on with these, and the plan is, as we learn how to use this tonight, to direct match into probably 2 of the bump bears and the concert lights so that I can push the buttons, this is called step firing, on the remote, and go in the order I want. The other bump bear, which we'll do first, we're going to expose the fuse and put one of the orange Talon clip Dragon wires on it. So that is the plan for the cakes. But before we do that, I'm going to take the firing system outside just here in my yard and a couple of these, each of these styles of igniter, and I'm going to do a test. Now, this test came from another YouTube channel, UKFR, which my viewer Dennis Blasey had recommended, and it is fantastic. Basically, he hooks extra fuse trimmings right into these wires to check and see if the wires are firing correctly. So we're going to try that first, and then we will get to the cakes later. But we're going to check this out to make sure we're hooking the wires up outside before we go to camp. So let's take these all outside, and we'll do that right now. Okay, Pyros, welcome to my front yard, and we're ready to go here. So what we've got are 1 through 4, which actually 1 is here and 4 is here, MJG wires with the shrouds still covering the firing element. We've got our talons in the middle, numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8. And over here we've got MJG wire with the shrouds pulled back, as you can see, and the fuses are taped directly to the little chemical element that's going to set to burn when I hit the remote. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and test each side. We'll start with 1 actually and go this way, and we'll do 2 on each side, and then we're going to hit the all fire button and see what happens. So one thing to note is when I turned on the firing modules, I do have little green LED lights for each number indicating that there is continuity in the connection. So we're going to start with number 4 right here. Here we go. Success. Now we're going to try number 1. Beautiful. My masking tape caught on fire. That's fun. Okay, next we're going to try some of our talons. We'll try number 8 first. Okay, that was good. It didn't go as fast. Now we'll come down here and try number 5. All right, we have success with that too. Now we're going to try our MJG firewire with the shrouds removed, which seems like it might be not an issue anyway. So first we'll try number 12. Aha, it fired, but it didn't ignite the fuse. And next we'll try number 9 down here. Let me just make sure that doesn't light the other fuse real quick. Okay, number 9. Okay, once again, it did not ignite the fuse. The fuse directly inserted into the end, I would add, has a little bit of that exposed black powder from the interior, whereas these fuses do not. So, finally, we're going to try our all fire. Predictions would indicate that these 4 will fire and these will not, but we're going to find out right now. Here we go. Okay, so success. So there you have it, guys. Remember, this test was a replication of a test performed by UKFR. Check out the YouTube channel for some really great tests on firing systems and general know-how to use them. Let's head back inside and take a look at what we're going to do with our cakes. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is how I'm going to be attempting to hook these 2 varieties of igniter wire into the various cakes. So the first thing we're going to do, this would be the talon clip like we talked about earlier, right? So all we're going to do for this is I'm just going to peel back the fuse cover and expose the fuse. And I like to pull it out. I always pull out my fuses and get them as far out and as much space from the cake as possible. And then we're going to pinch our clip open and just slide the fuse inside and pinch it closed like that. And that's ready to go. Now, of course, this is not hooked into a firing system here for safety's sake. So our second igniter that we have is the MJG firewire. So some people I've heard pull this back, some leave it on. I think most people leave the shroud on to prevent any damage. Apparently, this chemical is quite sensitive. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to take our cake, we're going to peel the wrapper off, exposing where the fuse is, and I am going to cut the cardboard exterior cover to expose where the fuse enters the first actual tube. Alright, so we see that the fuse is actually entering the firework tube right there. So there's probably a clay plug underneath, lift charge in here somewhere, and a little plug for our composition that's going to make our nice explosion up top. So the next step is to take a brass awl. Brass is important because it will not spark. And we're going to poke a hole into the tube. What I've heard from one of my sources is to leave the fuse attached. That way you can always relight it if your igniter doesn't work. So we're going to poke right in, and I should feel a crunch. I don't know if I'll be able to hear it or not. Right next to where that fuse goes in. Okay, so I could feel a crunch. And then I'm not going to do this now, but what we will do when we get up to the field is insert that right in there, the firing end. We'll push it all the way in, and the other end will go into our igniter. But as I said, from what I've been told, that's a fairly sensitive chemical, and even if we jostle a bump in the road on the drive up to Pyro Camp, there's a potential that it could ignite the firework, albeit slim, but you know what? If you know there's a risk there, don't take it, right? So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to take some of this cheap painter's tape that I've got, and I'm just going to put it right over the hole right here, and I'm going to make sure to push down nice and hard so I can see the indentation where I poked the hole with the brass awl. So when we get to Pyro Camp, I should be able to just I'll either pop the tape off or push this right through the hole. What the tape does is it keeps any of the lift charge from falling out while we're gone. Ideally, I'll just poke through the tape, and then I won't even lose anything that might stick to the outside of the tape by removing it. So that's how we're going to attach our wires to our cakes. Like I said, we're going to try doing one and one, and then I'm going to poke these two as well, and we will hopefully get a nice little show if everything works out right. So we're going to finish working with those, and then we'll meet you up at Pyro Camp. See you there, everybody! All right, guys, so while there's still a little bit of light in the sky, I've got our little test of the P12 set up and ready to go. So let me just give you a quick look at how I wired everything, and then we will head up and see how it works. So as you can see, the orange wire is the Talon style igniter, and the white wires are the MJG. So we've got orange over here going into number 1, and our 3 MJGs for our tests. You can see where my igniter went in there, and I should actually get a little extra tape on there, I think, before I'm done. You see how I taped over here? I'm going to tape the rest of these up for string relief, just in case. And then I've got some extra tape holding this stuff down, and if we turn on, we see we've got 4 green lights, which means we do have continuity in all 4 of these wires. So we are going to see how it all goes. I'm going to finish taping these, and then I will grab the remote, and when the sun goes down, we will turn on all the power and light her up. Alright guys, so I think it's about dark enough, so I've got the power turned on the firing module, and power turned on the remote. Alright, we're going to try it out. So number 1 is the Talon on the bump bearer. Awesome. Great. So number 2, we have the MJG wire on a bump bear. Oh wow, that was fast. Beautiful. So successes so far. Now we've got number 3 and number 4. I'm going to do my first try step firing We've got a bump bear and then concert lights, both from Winda, and we'll see how it goes. Ready? Awesome. Firing second. All right. Fantastic. So we have complete success with the P12 firing system, guys. We will meet up back in the Pyro Den, and I'll give you a little review of my thoughts on using it for the first time, things that I liked and things that I didn't like. So we'll see you there. Peace. All right, guys. So overall success, and I'm pretty happy with my purchase of the P12 firing system. On the setting up end, it was definitely a little bit more time consuming and a little bit more work. Poking the cakes and getting all the wires where I wanted them to go. Nice to have the success with firing, though, and the actual shoot time, just standing back and pushing the buttons, was really fantastic. That was a lot of fun. Got to say that MGG wire, that's the way to go. Definitely going to use that predominantly, and I'll keep the Talons probably more for things that are fused, like canister racks or fountains in the future. So send me a note in the comments, you guys. Let me know what you thought of this style of video. Did it help you learn something? Was it fun to watch? And would you like to see more like this? Obviously, I'm going to keep just lighting fireworks too, because that's really the point behind it all. But it's fun to know some of the how we get to process before we shoot too. So thanks again for watching. I'm really happy that you like to spend time watching fireworks with me and fireworks stuff. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, because it definitely lets me and the YouTube algorithms know that I'm doing a decent job with these videos for you guys. And if you just discovered us on this one, I hope you liked it enough to hit the subscribe button and tune in for more. I post firework videos about every other day, and I've got a nice backlog and a whole bunch of playlists of lots of firework demos that you're absolutely probably really enjoy checking out. So, thanks again for tuning in to the Vermont Pyro Boys. It's a pleasure to make these videos and share them with you. It's really my favorite thing to do, you guys. So, I'm happy that you're all coming to join me. Thanks again. We'll see you next time for another great fireworks video right here on the Vermont Pyro Boys. Peace!